What's going on, guys? It's Coach Mac back here once again, not only helping you with basketball, but helping you with life. Okay, so today I want to talk about what happened in the basketball world over this past weekend, and it completely shook the NBA. And whether or not you're a basketball fan or not, I know that you've heard about it, and I'm so excited to talk about it because it not only has lessons for my athletes, but it also has lessons for anyone in general. So, Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, for those of you who don't know Luka, he was the 2019 Rookie of the Year. He's been 5-time All-NBA, 5-time NBA All-Star. Last year, he led his team to the finals where he averaged 33.9 points a game, and he was the scoring leader last year. This year, he's averaging 28.1 points per game, which is the highest that anyone has averaged, and they've been traded. So it's easy to see why Luka was shocked, confused, disappointed, and hurt. It's crazy to think that you would trade arguably the best player in the league right now. But we're going to get into that. But you can obviously understand his hurt. And I got my notes right here because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. But I'm so excited because there's Bible for everything. And I don't know if Luka's a believer or not, but I want to give him some advice at the end of this video. So everybody's like, what the heck just happened? If anybody were to be safe, you would think is Luka Doncic. Not only with all his accolades, but he's only 25 years old, and he's known as, like I said, maybe, arguably, the greatest player in the league right now. So I was watching D-Wade's podcast earlier, and he was just talking about how it was a brilliant business move. He was talking about how the NBA is not just a game that's relative to this country, but how it's an international game. And this went way beyond Luka. But that for those of you who don't know, the NBA has been having problems with viewership. And all that's been talked about now is first of all, it's awakened fans. And that's all they've been talking about in this trade because it's so crazy. So we talked about how Luka did not know what was going on, but this was the billionaires getting together discussing how they can make the NBA more relevant again. So I want to talk about how it was business later on, but a lesson that can be learned from Luka's trade is no matter how good you think you are, no matter what you're doing or the accolades that you have, the number one lesson is that you always need to be humble. We saw arguably the best player in the league right now be traded. So someone's always coming for your spot. So you need to remain humble and not think of yourselves more highly than you should. Actually, remember, there's Bible for everything. And in Romans, it talks about do not think of yourself more highly than you ought. But I know that Luka is hurt right now. You can see it all over his face because it completely caught him by surprise. But if I were Luka's friend, if I were his coach, trainer, if I just had his ear, these are some things that I would tell Luka. And this is straight from the Bible because, like I said, remember, there's Bible for everything. And my first thing is Luka, don't put your trust in man. And it's Proverbs 3:5-6. And Proverbs, for my people who read the Bible, but for my people who don't read the Bible, is known as a wisdom book. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your paths. So my number one would be, Luka, put your trust in God. Number two is whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. And this is found in Colossians 3:23. And just a personal story of mine, when I was playing, I tried to do everything right that I thought I could. And I was looking for the accolades of my coaches, the accolades of my teammates, the accolades of my parents, because I wanted them to see how good I was. But there was like, no matter what I did, that my coach coaches did not see it. And so it taught me, don't look for accolades from them. Do what I know is right and work at it as if I'm doing it unto the Lord, because that's all. He's the one that's all that matters anyway, right? And a lot of times we look for validation from people, and people will always let us down. Number 3, and this is why I'm excited for Luka, because here it is right here. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and to those who are the called according to his purpose. So right now, Luka may be hurting. You may be upset. But just know that all things are working together for your good. Because if we're going to look at it from a sports perspective, let's look at it. Let's make sense of it. Dallas does not have the power. They don't have the money, or they don't have the lights that LA has. So they don't have the power to make the trades that you probably would have needed to help you win a championship. They don't have the money, even though you were up for a super max contract within the next couple of years. They simply cannot compete with what LA can do. And number 3, the lights are not as big on the Dallas stage as they are in LA. So, and let's look at this too. This is what I would tell Luka, or let's just make sense of it. The Dallas Mavericks said that they traded Luka because he was not conditioned and that he did not play defense. Well, who is he going to play with? He is going to play with arguably the most conditioned athlete, the athlete who is known for taking care of his body, the athlete who has played 20 plus years in the NBA and has kept his body in tip-top shape. He's going to play with the LeBron James. So if he couldn't get it together in Dallas, then he's sitting under the athlete who has done it for the longest time in taking care of his body. So he gets to sit underneath LeBron and learn from him. And I believe that Luka is about to go to another level. In my opinion, Luka he's a dog, but he still has some niceness to him. I still think there's another level that he can get to offensively, because he's going to be better conditioned, and on the defensive side. No, he's not the most athletic player. He's not going to be that. But because he'll be in better condition, he'll be able to move better. So it's going to make him a better defensive player. So no, I think from Luka's story, and this is how it can relate to your story as well, is that when it doesn't make sense, or know that when it doesn't make sense, that God is usually up to something. So I want you to think about maybe your life now, or a time in your life to where maybe coach did something to you that does not make sense. But I just want you to know that this is a bonus Bible verse, and it says that weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So I'm excited for Luka, because I think that he is about to go to a completely different level that he would not have gone to in Dallas. Just like I believe that in your tough seasons, in your hard seasons, that God is making you. And just to throw this out here, like I told y'all, there's Bible for everything. And there's so much Bible in this story that in James chapter 1, it tells us, count it all joy when we go through various trials, knowing that the testing of our faith produces patience, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. This is a whole different lesson in itself, but perfect does not mean without blame or without fault in this verse. It means a maturation. So Luka's maturing just like you are maturing through whatever it is that you have gone through, that you are going through now, or that you are going to go through. And I could go on, but I've been talking long enough. I told y'all I was excited about this video. So as always, I hope this helps.